Have you ever sat in a room full of people laughing and smiling, but inside you feel like you're falling apart? Have you ever achieved something you thought would make you happy? A promotion, a car, a relationship, only to find that after the applause fades, a deep emptiness still echoes inside your soul. My friend, today I came to tell you something. Emptiness is not a curse. It's a signal. It's your soul trying to get your attention before time runs out. The real reason you feel empty inside isn't because something is missing around you. It's because something is missing within you. Success without purpose feels like failure. Relationships without destiny feel like chains. Money without meaning feels like sand slipping through your fingers. You were designed not just to exist, but to matter. Not just to live, but to live for something greater than yourself. When you abandon your assignment, emptiness becomes your companion. Today, let's peel back the layers and find the truth. Because you were never created to walk through life numb, tired, and hollow. You were born to be full of life, full of fire, full of purpose. Let's walk together into 7 powerful revelations that will awaken your spirit and heal the silent emptiness inside you. You feel empty because you are disconnected from your purpose. When you are disconnected from your purpose, life starts to lose its flavor. You wake up every day feeling like you're moving but going nowhere. It's like sitting in a beautiful car with a full tank of gas but no destination on the GPS. You drive around, you spend energy, you burn resources, but deep down, you are not going anywhere that matters. Purpose is not a luxury reserved for a few. Purpose is the oxygen of your soul. Without it, you suffocate slowly. Even if you have all the things that the world says should make you happy, people tell you, just work hard, get a good job, find someone to marry, and you'll be fulfilled. But have you noticed that even after ticking all the boxes, you can still feel like something is missing? That's because checking boxes is not the same as living your calling. A checklist can fill your schedule, but never your spirit. You see, when a seed is planted in the wrong soil, it doesn't matter how much you water it, it cannot grow to its fullest potential. In the same way, if your daily life is not rooted in your real purpose, your soul remains parched. You may have moments of pleasure, but no lasting satisfaction. Have you ever met someone who has less money than you, fewer connections, fewer opportunities, and yet they glow with a fire you can't explain? That fire is the power of purpose. When a man or woman finds their reason for existence, you can see it in their walk, you can hear it in their voice, you can feel it in their presence. Purpose puts a light in your eyes that no darkness can extinguish. Purpose is what gets you up when you fall. Purpose is what keeps you standing when life throws its hardest punches. Purpose is what makes you dare to dream when everyone else settles for survival. Without purpose, you become a wanderer, busy, tired, and hollow. You run from one thing to another, hoping that maybe the next achievement, the next relationship, the next paycheck will finally make you feel full. But true fullness does not come from what you gather around you. It comes from what you ignite within you. When you are disconnected from your purpose, you start to lose your energy. You can sleep 10 hours and still wake up exhausted because physical rest cannot fix spiritual unrest. No vacation can heal the fatigue of a soul living beneath its calling. You can change cities, change careers, change lovers, but until you reconnect with the reason you were born, the emptiness follows you like a shadow. I've seen it happen too many times. Talented people wasting their gift-chasing trends, brilliant minds trapped in the wrong careers because of fear, visionaries dying slow deaths behind desks that suffocate their spirit. They trade their purpose for security and wonder why they feel like strangers in their own lives. Purpose is not found in the noise, it's found in the stillness. It's not something you chase, it's something you uncover inside you. It was planted in you before you ever had a name. Your purpose is the answer to a problem this world cannot solve without you. Your gift is not random, it is required. You are assigned to a mission, and until you reconnect with that mission, nothing else will ever feel enough. You know why you feel restless even when everything looks perfect on paper? It's because your soul recognizes that you were made for more than survival. You were made for significance. The ache you feel is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of potential. It's your destiny tapping on your heart, saying, wake up, you were not created for ordinary. Think about an eagle locked in a chicken coop. No matter how much you feed it, no matter how well you treat it, it will never feel at home because it was built for the sky, not the ground. That's you when you live disconnected from your purpose. You can build the nicest coop, but deep down, your wings are itching for something greater. And here's the truth you must grab today. You don't find purpose by accident. You find it by seeking, by reflecting, by refusing to settle. You find it when you stop asking, what will make me rich? And start asking, what was I born to solve? You find it when you look past the applause of people and listen to the quiet cry of your spirit. The real reason you feel empty inside is not because you're broken beyond repair. It's because your life is pregnant with meaning that has yet to be born. And the longer you delay, the louder the emptiness will shout. But today you can make a decision. You can silence the noise. You can tune into the frequency of your purpose. You can start living, not just existing. you can become everything you were destined to become. You feel empty because you are chasing substitutes. You feel empty because you are chasing substitutes. Substitutes are dangerous because they offer the illusion of fulfillment without delivering the reality of it. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. It looks like it can quench your thirst, but it only leaves you more dehydrated, more desperate. Many people spend their entire lives chasing the wrong things, thinking they are chasing happiness, thinking they are chasing success, but all the while they are running after illusions. You buy the latest gadgets, thinking they will fill the void. You accumulate followers on social media, thinking the likes and comments will translate to love and validation. You chase career titles, brand names, vacations, luxury, applause, and every time you achieve one more thing, you taste it and realize it leaves you even hungrier than before. Why? Because none of these things were designed to fill your soul. They are like sugar highs. They give you a rush, but not real strength. I remember sitting with a man who had more money than he could spend in a lifetime. He had yachts, homes in 5 countries, employees who called him sir every day. But in a quiet moment, he looked me dead in the eye and said, "I've got everything I ever dreamed of, but why do I still feel like I'm nothing?" My friend, it's because substitutes can never do the work that only purpose can do. You can substitute business for impact. You can substitute applause for inner peace. You can substitute surface-level relationships for authentic connection. You can substitute distractions for true dreams. But every substitute will eventually betray you. Every substitute will leave you more hollow than when you first started. It's like being in a desert and seeing a mirage. It looks real. It looks close. You chase it with all your strength, believing it will save you. And when you finally reach it, you find nothing but dry, lifeless sand. That's what chasing substitutes does to your soul. It promises what it cannot deliver. You don't need another thing. You need the right thing. You don't need another compliment. You need real confidence. You don't need another possession. You need passion. You don't need more distractions. You need divine direction. Imagine planting plastic flowers in your backyard. You might fool the neighbors for a season. From a distance, it might even look impressive. But when you get close, when you touch it, you realize it's fake, it's lifeless, it will never bear fruit. That's the tragedy of substitutes. They may shine for a moment, but they can never satisfy. You were never designed to live for substitutes. You were born for the real thing. You were built to live for something eternal, something that doesn't fade when the applause stops, something that doesn't vanish when the lights go out. When you chase substitutes, you delay your destiny. Every moment spent running after what is fake is a moment stolen from what is true. Every second you give to distractions is a second stolen from your dream. Every ounce of energy you waste chasing illusions is energy robbed from the mission you were sent to accomplish. And here's the harsh truth: if you chase substitutes long enough, you begin to believe that's all there is. You train your heart to settle, you train your spirit to shrink, you teach your soul to stop dreaming, and slowly, silently, you become a version of yourself you don't even recognize. I've seen people with great potential sell it for pennies because they couldn't tell the difference between substitutes and the real thing. They gave their hearts to people who never valued them. They gave their dreams to jobs that only exploited them. They gave their creativity to systems that only drained them, all because they thought maybe this is just how life is. No, my friend, that's not how life was meant to be. That's what happens when you chase substitutes instead of substance. You are not an accident. You are not a random collection of talents and dreams. You are a masterpiece with a mission. You were built for impact, not imitation. You were designed for significance, not survival. You were wired for meaning, not madness. The ache you feel when you achieve something and still feel empty, that is your soul whispering, there is more. The frustration you feel when you reach a goal and it doesn't fulfill you, that is your destiny reminding you you were built for greater things. The dissatisfaction you feel even when everyone else says you should be happy, that is your spirit crying out, this is not your final stop. You don't need another cheap thrill. You need a life-altering truth. You don't need another distraction. You need a calling that wakes you up in the morning and keeps you burning through the night. You don't need substitutes. You need the real reason you were born. You need your purpose. You feel empty because you are ignoring your inner voice. You feel empty because you're ignoring your inner voice. That whisper inside you, the one you keep brushing aside, the one you drown out with noise, the one you silence with business, is the very compass designed to lead you to your fulfillment. It's easy to think that life is just about paying bills, meeting deadlines, showing up for obligations, and scrolling through endless distractions. But deep down, something inside you keeps calling out, there's more than this. And the tragedy is, many people hear that voice, but they choose to ignore it. They choose convenience over calling, comfort over courage, and familiarity over freedom. Imagine a ship built with the finest craftsmanship, polished to perfection, strong enough to cross any ocean. But instead of sailing towards the horizon, it stays tied to the dock, tossed by small waves, beaten by the sun, gathering rust and rot. That's exactly what happens to a soul that ignores its inner voice. You were built for deep wall journeys, for mighty adventures. But if you keep ignoring the call inside you, you'll stay stuck in the shallow and your strength will waste away. Your inner voice is not just random thoughts, it's the purest part of you, the part that has not been polluted by fear, by doubt, by the opinions of people who never even tried to dream. It's the part of you that knows who you really are before the world told you what you were supposed to be. But when you ignore that voice, you start living someone else's version of life. You start climbing ladders leaning against the wrong walls. You start chasing dreams that don't even belong to you. And then you wonder why you feel empty even after you win. There's a small boy I once met who loved drawing. Every scrap of paper he found, he would fill with colors and images from his imagination. But as he grew older, people told him, drawing doesn't pay the bills. Find something practical. So he listened. He went to college for something he hated. He sat at a desk he despised. He wore suits that made him feel like a prisoner. And every day, his spirit shrank. One afternoon, he pulled out an old notebook where he used to draw as a kid, and tears fell on the pages because he realized he hadn't just ignored his passion, he had ignored himself. Ignoring your inner voice doesn't just lead to a boring life. It leads to a broken one. When you silence your true desires long enough, they don't disappear. They rebel. They turn into frustration, into sadness, into emptiness. You don't feel numb because you're weak. You feel numb because you've been living disconnected from your real self. Every great person you admire, every history maker, every change agent, every name that refuses to be forgotten. They didn't ignore their inner voice. They listened when others laughed. They acted when others doubted. They obeyed the whispers when the world demanded they stay silent. And because they listened, they lived full. They died empty, empty of regret, empty of wasted potential, empty of unfulfilled dreams. You can't keep suppressing the best parts of yourself and expect to feel alive. You can't keep saying, oh, one day, and think you'll magically stumble into purpose. Your inner voice is speaking now. It's calling now. It's asking you to remember what you once dared to dream before fear taught you to shrink. It's asking you to turn down the noise of the world and tune back into the frequency of destiny. And yes, sometimes your inner voice will lead you into places that are unfamiliar, into choices that seem risky, into paths that others don't understand. But would you rather be uncomfortable and alive or comfortable and dead inside? Would you rather risk and fly or stay grounded forever because you were too afraid to move? There's a reason you keep waking up in the middle of the night wondering if this is all there is. There's a reason you can't shake the feeling that you were made for more. That's your soul shouting through the silence. That's your inner voice refusing to be buried. That's your destiny refusing to be denied. You don't need another motivational quote. You need a decision. You don't need another distraction to numb the emptiness. You need to rise up and listen to yourself, the real you, the powerful you, the destined you. And once you do, emptiness will no longer be your companion. Purpose will be, passion will be, fulfillment will be. You feel empty because you are living someone else's dream. You feel empty because you are living someone else's dream. Every morning you wake up, you put on clothes that don't feel like you. You step into roles you never chose, and you perform in a life that doesn't belong to your heart. And you wonder why the mirror doesn't smile back at you. You wonder why, even after achieving what everyone told you was success, the job, the house, the car, the image, you still feel like something is missing. It's because you're not living from the fire inside you. You're living according to someone else's blueprint, someone else's expectations, someone else's version of happiness. And no matter how perfectly you perform in their show, your soul knows it's not your stage. Imagine a bird that was created to soar high above the mountains, born to ride the winds with effortless grace. But someone tells it, stay on the ground. It's safer here. So the bird spends its life hopping from branch to branch, envying the clouds, aching for the skies it never touched. That bird could be surrounded by other creatures telling it how wonderful it looks on the branch, but deep down, it knows it was built for more. That aching, that restlessness, that quiet sadness, that's exactly what happens to you when you live someone else's dream. From a young age, you were told what to value, what to pursue, what to fear. Maybe it was parents who said, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer. Maybe it was teachers who said, stay realistic, don't dream too big. Maybe it was society flashing images of success, wealth, and fame, convincing you that joy comes packaged a certain way. And slowly, without realizing it, you traded your vision for theirs. You traded your wildness for their approval. You traded your passion for their applause. And now here you are, feeling like a stranger in your own life. I once knew a woman who had a love for music. She could make a guitar sing, make hearts move with her voice. But her family said, music won't pay the bills, be practical. So she put the guitar down, put on a suit, sat in an office, and filed papers day after day. From the outside, her life looked polished, but inside it was a desert, dry, empty. She wasn't depressed because she was weak. She was depressed because her spirit was suffocating under the weight of everyone else's expectations. Living someone else's dream will cost you more than you can afford. It costs you peace. It costs you passion. It costs you years you can't get back. You end up climbing mountains you never wanted to climb, only to realize the view at the top doesn't satisfy you. You sacrifice your authenticity for acceptance, and in the process, you lose the only thing that could have made your life truly remarkable, your true self. When you live according to someone else's dream, you're constantly chasing milestones that don't nourish you. You get the promotion, but it feels hollow. You buy the house, but it feels cold. You hit the goals, but inside you feel more lost than ever, because nothing external can satisfy an internal void. You weren't created to live life by default. You were designed to live by design, your design, not theirs. Think about it. How many people are walking around wearing masks, putting on performances, living entire decades in roles that betray their hearts? They post pictures of their perfect lives while their souls are silently screaming for freedom. And then they wonder why no amount of success can silence the emptiness. No amount of applause can fill the hollow echo inside. If you want to break free, you have to stop living for their approval. You have to stop letting fear write your story. You have to be willing to disappoint others if it means you finally stop disappointing yourself. You have to be brave enough to say, this is not my dream. This is not my path. This is not my life. And then you have to turn around and start walking toward the life that sets your soul on fire, even if you have to walk alone for a while. Because here's the truth, living your true purpose might cost you some relationships. It might cost you comfort. It might cost you predictability. But it will reward you with something no one else can give you. A life that feels alive. A life that feels right. A life that fills you instead of draining you. A life where the mirror smiles back at you because you finally see someone who is real, someone who is brave, someone who is free. You feel empty because you are carrying old wounds. You feel empty because you are carrying old wounds. You walk around every day with invisible scars, the kind that don't show up on your skin, but weigh heavy on your spirit. Wounds from words spoken over you when you were too young to defend yourself. Wounds from betrayals that cut you deeper than any knife ever could. Wounds from dreams you dared to dream, only to watch them be trampled by circumstances you couldn't control. And you think you've moved on because time passed, but in reality, you've only buried the pain, not healed from it. Like a broken bone that was never properly set, it still throbs beneath the surface, reminding you that it was never made right. Every time someone praises you, you doubt it because you still hear the voice from your past saying you're not enough. Every time an opportunity comes, you hesitate because the last time you took a risk, it left you bruised and battered. Every time love tries to reach you, you pull back because the old betrayals taught you that trusting others is dangerous. You are carrying old wounds like backpacks full of stones, trying to run a race meant for the light-hearted. No wonder you feel tired even after a full night's sleep. No wonder success feels hollow. No wonder the joy that others talk about feels just out of your reach. You are trying to build a future while dragging the wreckage of the past behind you. Imagine someone trying to run a marathon while holding a refrigerator on their back. No matter how strong they are, no matter how motivated they are, eventually the weight will wear them down. It's not that they're weak. It's not that they're lazy. It's that they are carrying too much. You cannot run toward your destiny while clutching the chains of your history. You cannot rise into your purpose while being anchored by your pain. I remember meeting a man who had every reason to be bitter. He was abandoned by his family at a young age, betrayed by people he trusted, overlooked time and time again. And for years, he walked around with a chip on his shoulder, angry at the world, angry at life, angry at himself. Every opportunity that came his way, he pushed away because he believed deep down he wasn't worthy. Until one day, he realized the anger wasn't protecting him. It was imprisoning him. He realized he was still living in the moment of his hurt. Even though the hurt happened decades ago, he made the decision to heal, not to excuse what was done to him, but to refuse to let it define him anymore. And when he started to heal, opportunities started to look different. People started to look different. Life started to taste sweeter. You can't control who hurt you. You can't go back and erase the pain, but you can decide today that the pain will no longer be your identity. You can decide that the betrayal will not be your biography. You can decide that what they did to you will not dictate what you do next. Healing is not about forgetting. Healing is about reclaiming. Reclaiming your joy, reclaiming your peace, reclaiming your power. Old wounds teach you to shrink when you were born to stretch. They teach you to hide when you were born to shine. They teach you to fear when you were born to fly. Every time you let an old wound control your present, you are giving it permission to rob you twice. Once in the moment it hurt you, and again every day you allow it to linger. Healing takes courage. It takes confronting the pain instead of numbing it. It takes forgiving not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. It takes letting go, not because it didn't matter, but because you matter too much to stay stuck. It takes looking in the mirror and saying, this happened to me, but it will not finish me. You feel empty because you're watering dead plants, trying to revive relationships, memories, and dreams that have already served their season. Let them go. Bury what needs to be buried, not with bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons they taught you. Then stand up, shake the dust off your feet, and start moving forward lighter, freer, and more alive than you have ever been before. You feel empty because you are starving spiritually. You feel empty because you are starving spiritually. You wake up each day, go through your routine, check the boxes, meet the deadlines, laugh at the jokes, but deep inside, there's a gnawing hunger that nothing seems to satisfy. You get the promotion you prayed for. You buy the car you dreamed about. You move into the house you thought would fix everything, and yet, at night, when the noise fades and the world quiets down, you still feel a void that no material possession can fill. Because what you are starving for cannot be found in a paycheck, in a title, or even in applause. What you are craving is a deeper connection with the reason you were created, a deeper alignment with the very breath that gave you life. We live in a world where we feed our bodies 3 times a day, but starve our souls for months. We spend hours scrolling through social media, feeding our minds with noise, but we don't take 10 minutes to nourish the spirit inside of us. And then we wonder why we feel hollow, why our achievements feel empty, why even surrounded by people, we feel alone. It's because there's a hunger inside of you that only meaning, only purpose, only spiritual truth can satisfy. Imagine a tree planted in the desert. No matter how beautiful its branches, no matter how strong its trunk, without water, it will eventually wither. It's not because the tree isn't good enough. It's because its roots are not getting what they were designed to receive. Your spirit is the same. It was created to thrive on something more than entertainment, more than ambition, more than surface level success. Your spirit needs the living waters of purpose, the refreshing rain of wisdom, the deep nutrients of meaning. I met a young woman once who had it all on the outside. Beauty, wealth, fame. She was the face on every billboard in her city, the name everyone knew. But when the cameras turned off and the crowds disappeared, she confessed that she cried herself to sleep most nights, not because she lacked anything externally, but because internally she felt like a ghost, a shell of the person she was supposed to be. She had spent years feeding her image, but neglected to feed her spirit. She was well known, but unknown to herself. She had followers, but no true fulfillment. You can't fill a spiritual hunger with physical things. You can't silence the ache in your soul with business. You can't drown out the cries of your heart with noise. That hunger will keep knocking louder and louder until you finally pay attention. That void is not your enemy, it is your guide. It is reminding you that you are more than flesh and blood, more than a job title, more than a list of accomplishments. You are a divine being with a divine assignment. You were created with a purpose bigger than yourself, and feeding your spirit is not complicated. It's about slowing down enough to hear the whisper inside you. It's about spending time nurturing your mind with wisdom, surrounding yourself with people who elevate your thinking, and creating space for silence where clarity can find you. It's about choosing meaning over distraction, depth over noise, substance over image. It's about understanding that success without soul is still failure. It's about realizing that the climb means nothing if you lose yourself on the way up. Think of a man who spends his entire life building a house with the finest materials, marble floors, golden chandeliers, crystal clear windows, but he forgets to build a foundation. When the storms come, no matter how beautiful his house is, it crumbles. Life will bring storms. Fame will fade. Money will fluctuate. Applause will die down. If your spirit is not anchored, you will crumble too. But if you are rooted deep in who you are, in why you exist, in the purpose bigger than yourself, then nothing, no loss, no betrayal, no hardship will be able to shake you. You are not designed to live off crumbs when a feast was prepared for you. You are not designed to wander aimlessly when a map was placed in your hands. You are not designed to survive on distractions when destiny is calling your name. Don't ignore the hunger inside you. It's not there to punish you. It's there to awaken you to who you really are, to push you back to the source of your true fulfillment. You feel empty because you are settling for survival instead of impact. You feel empty because you are settling for survival instead of impact. Every day you wake up, and instead of rising to conquer, you wake up just to cope. You move through your routines, not because they light your fire, but because they maintain your existence. You tolerate jobs that drain you, conversations that bore you, environments that shrink you, all for the sake of surviving another day. But you were never created just to survive. You were created to impact. You were created to leave fingerprints on the world, to stir souls, to spark ideas, to light up atmospheres when you walk in. Yet here you are, existing instead of living, breathing but not thriving, busy but not fulfilled. Survival teaches you to protect what you have, but impact teaches you to pursue what you are capable of. And there is a world of difference between the two. Survival says, hold on tight, don't rock the boat, stay safe. Impact says, break the mold, shake the ground, risk everything to become everything you were meant to be. Many people are walking around feeling hollow inside because they traded their dreams for paychecks, their visions for comfort, their callings for security. You weren't born to play it safe. Safety is an illusion for those afraid to live. Picture this. Imagine a lion living in a zoo. Every day he's fed, cleaned, and cared for. His life is predictable. He is surviving. But deep inside that lion is a roaring beast made to rule the wire to the stars, to lead the pride, to chase dreams bigger than any cage. He paces back and forth restless, not because he is ungrateful, but because he knows deep in his bones he was made for something more. You are that lion. You may have a good salary, you may have a steady routine, but if you're restless, it's because your soul remembers the wilderness you were born to conquer. Survival numbs you. It deadens the senses. It makes you forget that you were meant to make waves, not just tread water. It makes you apologize for wanting more. It convinces you that dreaming is dangerous, that reaching is reckless, that hoping is naive. So you build a life around limitations instead of around possibilities. And you wonder why you feel empty. You wonder why, even when everything should be good, something still feels missing. It's because survival may pay your bills, but it will never pay your spirit. There's a reason why stories of courage and daring move us so deeply, because deep down, every soul longs for a life of impact. Nobody was born with a passion for mediocrity. Nobody dreamed as a child saying, I just want to barely get by. No child looks at the stars and says, one day, I hope I can live a life that is just okay. But somewhere along the way, fear hijacks faith, doubt strangles dreams, comfort seduces courage, and before you know it, you're living a life you don't even recognize in a story you didn't really write. You don't make an impact by staying invisible. You don't change the world by playing it safe. You don't leave a legacy by repeating yesterday. Impact demands risk. Impact demands discomfort. Impact demands that you leave the safety of survival and step into the wild unknown of your true potential. Impact demands that you stop hiding your light because the world taught you to be small. Look at every person you admire, the authors, the leaders, the inventors, the visionaries. They didn't survive their way into greatness. They dared. They stepped out when it was inconvenient. They moved when it was uncomfortable. They risked being misunderstood, laughed, doubted, and even rejected. But in the end, they chose impact over survival, and history remembers their names because of it. Your emptiness is not a curse, it's a clue. It's a signpost pointing you back to your original design. It's the silent scream of your spirit saying, wake up! You were made for more than this. It's time to stop apologizing for your fire. It's time to stop negotiating with your calling. It's time to stop letting the fear of failure be louder than the voice of destiny. Every second you spend settling for survival is a second you are delaying the greatness that was wired into your very being. Stop settling for a life that simply checks the boxes. You weren't made for mere existence. You were made for explosive, undeniable, unforgettable impact. You were made to change the temperature of every room you enter, to elevate every conversation you participate in, to spark every soul you encounter. You were made to live in such a way that when you leave, the world notices something is missing. Survival is easy, impact is rare, but you were never called to be common. You were called to be extraordinary. If you are feeling empty inside, it's because you were never designed to live on leftovers. You were created to feast on fulfillment, to drink deeply from the wells of purpose, to wake up every morning with fire in your bones and dreams in your eyes. That emptiness you feel is not your enemy, it is your invitation. It's destiny banging on the doors of your comfort zone, demanding that you rise. It's your grace throwing pebbles at the windows of your soul, whispering, come out. There's more waiting for you. The life you are seeking is not hiding from you, it's hiding in you, waiting for you to believe enough to unlock it. You see, the saddest tragedy is not death, it's living without ever waking up. The saddest story is not the one where the hero falls, it's the one where the hero never realizes he was a hero. You are not empty because you are broken. You are empty because you are ignoring the call to live a life that sets you on fire. Don't settle for a life that just pays the bills. Build a life that fuels your spirit. Don't chase applause, chase alignment. Don't chase popularity, chase purpose. Because when you align with purpose, you won't need to beg for applause. Impact will follow you like a shadow. There's a reason why you can't sleep at night sometimes, why your heart aches when you see someone living boldly. That restlessness is not random. It's your soul remembering the assignment it was given before you ever took your first breath. It's the echo of the dreams you buried under fear, under doubt, under the need to please people who were never qualified to approve your destiny. Your time is too expensive to waste on things that drain you. Your gift is too rare to be buried under a life you don't love. Your calling is too sacred to be ignored for the comfort of the familiar. The clock is ticking and life is not waiting. The dreams you keep postponing have an expiration date. The visions you keep delaying are crying out to be born. Time does not negotiate. You don't get to live the same day over and over again and call that a life. You don't get to procrastinate your calling and still expect fulfillment. If you want to feel full, you have to fully show up. You have to get serious. You have to decide that your destiny is non-negotiable. You were not created to tiptoe through life. You were not designed to shrink, to settle, to fade into the background. You were made to roar. You were made to rise. You were made to do the thing that scares you, the thing that challenges you, the thing that wakes you up at night, because you know deep down, If you don't do it, the world will be missing something it desperately needs. Greatness is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of decision. Success is not reserved for the chosen few. It's reserved for the courageous few. Destiny does not respond to convenience. It responds to commitment. You have to get so tired of surviving that you are willing to burn the boats and storm the island of your future with nothing but faith and a made-up mind. You have to stop waiting for permission. You have to stop playing small. The dream was given to you because you are the one qualified to carry it. Don't just be another face in the crowd. Be the one who decided to stop being afraid. Be the one who stopped settling. Be the one who chose impact over insecurity, calling over comfort, destiny over doubt. You've been empty long enough. You've been hiding long enough. You've been waiting long enough. Now it's your time. Not next year, not next month, not when it feels easier, not when it's perfect. Right now, today, this moment. Because time is not your friend when you are sitting on your purpose. It is your fiercest competitor. The world is not waiting for another copy. The world is groaning for the arrival of the real you. The version of you that walks boldly into the fire because you know the fire can only refine you, not destroy you. The version of you that stops explaining your dreams to people who are committed to average. The version of you that refuses to die full, live empty, pour it all out, say what you need to say, build what you need to build, become who you were born to become. Because the graveyard is full of dreams that were never lived, songs that were never sung, books that were never written, businesses that were never started. Don't add your dreams to the cemetery. Fight, push, move, rise. Because the real tragedy would not be failing. The real tragedy would be never trying at all. You have one life, one shot, one moment. Make it count, make it loud, make it legendary.